Well, we are back with the IPL story. Of course, the big story here is that Mumbai Indians is going through a tough time. Even a 240 plus total seems to be very difficult for them to defend. Just imagine a team with six international skippers, one iconic legend, and a consistent support staff that has been there through the years, including Rahul Sangvi, the former Indian spinner. Let's hear what David Brooks have to say about Hardik Pandya's apology last night when they lost the match. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yes, I'm hearing you now. Sunil, thank you. Well, I think you can't blame the batting of Mumbai Indians. They posted a decent score. Ryan Rickleton was a great replacement for de Kock, and the captain himself, Pandya, stood up with the 30 odd. The score was a challenging one. They just couldn't put a break, could they? Even when they couldn't put a break on the Sunrisers batting. Even when there were two wickets that fell in close succession, Ishan Kishan went for a duck, Head and the Sharma were dismissed. That was the opportunity to turn the screws and put a break on proceedings. The captain did an okay job, but there wasn't the strength in the bowling to contain Klaasen, and then we saw Sahil Arora coming in and hitting a quick 32. I mean, I thought that some of the backup bowling wasn't good enough, and to blame the skipper, I think, would be the wrong thing to do. Okay, you could say, why did he give an over to? Was it Shivan? Well, no, who was it? It was Ashwani Kumar, I think, who was very expensive and probably shouldn't have been brought back in when Klaasen just came in, because that was the opportunity to close the game down and change the course of the game. It didn't happen. They fed Klaasen with short balls. Klaasen was able to get into his stride, and suddenly the game was taken away from them again. It was almost though no total would have been defendable with that bowling lineup. So I think it's tough to blame the captain. They've got to look at their fifth bowler, because they don't seem to have a decent fifth bowler. So he couldn't, he couldn't bring Bumrah back. Maybe he should have brought Bumrah back when those wickets fell. That's perhaps the one thing you could criticise the captain for. Instead of which he gave Kumar another over. That went for 20 odd, and the game was suddenly out of reach. So tempting though it is to blame the skipper, I'm not going to join in on this occasion.
Well, absolutely. It's very tempting. Yes, you certainly said that. Well, West Indies and England have been through the same rigmarole, going very well, big stars at the helm, and suddenly you lose the plot midway when you watch the match completely. Do you think it's one of those classical situations of Manchester United, big stars, no delivery?
Well, I don't know what's happening inside the dressing room. You're probably closer to that than I am. Yeah, you've got well, Sky obviously is not delivering at the moment, so there's a situation there where you've got the India T20 captain in the ranks, but not delivering. The injury to Sharma. There are some mitigating circumstances, but whether you can pin that on the senior players not responding to Pandya, and I haven't seen any evidence of that. Pandya, I bowled okay, batted well. You can, as I say, the only place you can really pin him down is on choice of bowlers at that particular time when Klaasen had just come in.
Well, absolutely. You just said it right. But how do you rate David Brooks' situation where you need to win 6 out of 6 matches remaining? Do you think the apology was a precursor to something that Mumbai Indians, they're the 5 times winner champions. You've got Rohit Sharma at the helm. You've got Sachin Tendulkar coming and, egging them up. Do you think 6 out of 6 in a T20 format where you've lost all the games is a kind of a Cinderella man kind of a script where you make all the odds and come back? What's your view on this?
It's highly unlikely, that's what you can say. I know that Mumbai Indians are slow starters. I know that they tend to come good as the tournament goes on. They needed to win that game yesterday, didn't they? To really have a chance of getting into the top 4. I think it's fanciful to think they're going to win 6 games on the bounce.
Right, games on the bounce is quite a problem, but it's quite a problematic thing when you have a star-studded team like Mumbai Indians, just imagine, they've got some of the best names, best skippers. If you were to look at, the former skippers, and suddenly when it goes down, how would you equate it, David Brooks? Do you equate it to the West Indian team of the early 2000, where they had everybody, but they still couldn't manage a decent win? Your views?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously West Indies, the situation there was that they were losing one by one the big star names. Once, they were able to continue whilst they had Walsh and Ambrose there. Once those two departed, it was very difficult. It was very difficult for West Indies. Mumbai Indians still have Bumrah. Now, the focus has been on Jasprit Bumrah. He's had a big workload, coming straight after the World Cup. Um, Bumrah, we know, operates best in bursts, and he probably operates best with the red ball rather than the white ball. So yeah, he's a big name. De Kock had that injury, so that's one former international captain who wasn't available. But you couldn't fault the contribution of Ryan Rickleton with his 123 not out. He slowed up towards the end. He's probably getting quite tired, but what a great century that was. It should have been on the winning team, shouldn't he? So I think you have to look at the bowling, and they've got that young Afghan leg spinner Gazantha. I mean, I was commentating yesterday on the guerrilla cricket, and I like that. I like the ball. He's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, but faced with a rampaging Klaasen has that ability to knock any bowler off his length. He bullied Gazantha, he bullied the young Afghan, and then who does Hardik? Who could he really turn to? He tried Will Jacks. His one over had gone for 19, so that wasn't really an option. He went back to Ashwani.
Well, absolutely. We've got another match coming up. Of course, we've got the RCB, which is one of the favorites and the defending champions. We also have Gujarat Titans, who's building it up against the mighty RCB. When you have Virat Kohli's team suddenly in line with Shubman Gill's that side, the battle is in Ahmedabad. It looks like a big, big game altogether. I don't know if David can hear me. He'll have to come and join back. But let me just hold on to the fort and just talk about what RCB is capable of doing. They've got the best run rate in the middle over when they're bowling. When they're batting, they're hitting. Prowess is number 3. Their spin department is not doing bad, but more importantly, you've got two of the old war horses, Hazelwood and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. They've been doing quite a good to themselves and to the team. In fact, the old war horses are not stopping the battle. In fact, they're leading the charge from the front. You also have some of the best names in the batting. Of course, Patidar, who's leading it from the front, but more importantly, it's Virat Kohli's time altogether. Let me just get one of our guests who's just joined. If Satish is there, yes. Satish, welcome to the show. Satish is the former sports editor of Gulf News. Satish, quick hello, and what do you think of this battle between the Gujarat Titans and the RCB? Your views.
Hi, Sunil. Hello, viewers. I think it's going to be an interesting battle because Gujarat Titans are coming off after a very good win in Chennai. Of course, I was there watching the, I would say not the real fun for a Chennai fan. But yes, the Gujarat are now getting their bowling sorted. So that's a good part. So it's going to be a big battle between the Gujarat Pacers and the RCB openers, basically. The top 3, if Gujarat can make the early inroads, then I'm sure RCB, you can put the RCB in a no man's land. But again, like RCB is a team that is really, really doing well. They don't want to let their grip on the title. They have showed that they mean business. So they have come back. They have come to the new season very strongly, and they have been continuing that good form. As you said, there are a lot of old war horses. The experience actually helps them tide over in crucial games, and the way they even chase a small total or the big total, it's all falling into place. And we are also on the home stretch as of the tournament.
Satish, you're much closer to Bangalore as compared to the Gujarat teams. The close coterie, of course. Solanki is doing a great job running the entire back end. But let me ask you, what's going wrong with Gujarat Titans, who hasn't been able to deliver the punch? Is it the skipper's contribution? And in his absence, Sai Sudarshan has been making good deed out of it. Your views?
I think Gujarat batting is wearing very thin. Like the top two or three, if you look at after that, there's not much of a contribution coming later down the order. So that puts that extra pressure on the openers or the top order batsmen. So they actually have a very difficult job to do. Like they have to protect the wicket, at the same time score runs in the power play, make sure that they don't lose wickets and they are not on the back foot. So I think the real problem lies with the batting and especially the form of Shubman Gill, who has been scoring runs in tons last year. But yeah, Sai Sudarshan has come in good in the last couple of games. Again, like you need to have a entire 4 or 5 batsmen who could you depend on, not one or two,
Absolutely.
because any day things could go wrong. So then that leads a little element of doubt in the batsman or the batting strength.
Well, I bring David Brooks' favorite segment of the show, which is Virat Kohli and RCB. Do you think, David Brooks, RCB is rallying around Virat Kohli's absolutely invisible power in the dressing room? Your views? What do you envisage sitting from London on this particular issue?
I see Kohli as an absolutely key piece of the RCB jigsaw. Yeah, he provides that class and stability up the order. You can see other players enjoy playing around him. I think there's a very good relationship with Patidar, the captain, Kohli. He leans on Kohli's experience. So yeah, I think the spectre of Kohli, shines bright within the RCB setup, and they're looking. They're looking like the genuine article now. I mean, that spell of bowling from Hazelwood and Bhuvan Kumar in their last match, it really stands out, doesn't it? In a tournament that's been dominated by the bat, there was an opening bowling attack that would grace any Test match, wouldn't it? With Hazelwood getting the bounce, Bhuvan Kumar moving it around, it made for a very interesting game. The game yesterday, by contrast, there was no movement from the bowlers, was there? The bat dominated the ball. So I'm looking forward to seeing that contest between Hazelwood and Bhuvan Kumar and the Gujarat Titans batting lineup. The one thing I'd add to what Satish says regarding the Gujarat Titans is I'm really pleased to see Jason Holder back in that middle. I think he strengthens the middle order, gives them an additional bowling option for the Titans. So that was, left it late to bring him in. He's back. He's in the team now. I think he does strengthen the middle order. And will they need to resort to the middle order? That's the interesting thing. Will Joss Butler be able to handle the likes of Hazelwood and Bhuvan, or can Gill and Sudarshan do it on their own? Last time when these two teams met, they didn't really need to bat very low, far down at all, did they? It was a comfortable victory for RCB.
Well, absolutely. That David Brooks, an interesting issue occurred last 24, 36 hours, and that was vaping. Well, you're very familiar with the row of vaping, especially on live television. Siddharth, my producer, has pointed out in the past as well. But let me bring you back. The Rajasthan Royal skipper was caught on television camera vaping. Tell me about the incident, and do you side with that?
Well, I mean, one of my predecessors as a commentator, John Arlott, great name in the commentary box at the BBC, used to come on with a nice bottle of red wine, a couple of glasses for whoever was commentating next to him, but he wasn't playing. I wasn't playing. There's a world of difference between being there in the dugout and not being able to sort of control your urge to vape. It was certainly an unusual sight. I think it's actually probably against the regulations inside the stadium as well. So it's an unfortunate look. He might have got away with it as a winning captain. As a losing captain, the optics were not good.
Well, absolutely. Satish, when was the last time you saw Chris Srikanth used to smoke a lot from the Chennai stadium, and even in the dressing room, he was cited. But do you think now players are under too much of scrutiny, Satish?
Yeah, yeah. See, I even read somewhere that the Caribbean players used to have a glass of beer during the lunch during a match. So these are some of those days are gone. Those days they were playing for fun as well as like enjoyment and all that. Now it's become professional. In a professional setup, you don't have spaces for all these. You need to abide by the rules. The rules, no, like again, there are WADA, which is performance enhancing. You can look at many other aspects of it. So it is, I think what he did was wrong because the rules and regulations don't allow that. And the things have moved on from the times when we have seen the people smoke on the dressing room, people the players smoke. So in fact, I was I was fortunate enough to share a dressing room with Krishnamacharya Srikanth in my playing days. So I still enjoyed his company. Even then, sometimes what he does is he doesn't smoke in the dressing room. He would probably go somewhere outside and then smoke and then come back. So dressing room has got its sanctity. So you need to respect that.
Well, joining me is Zakwan Rumi, the new upcoming voice of Sri Lankan cricket commentary. Zach, very quickly, if I were to ask, you've seen a lot of chatter in the social media. Do you think the criticism is justified considering that already been slapped 25% of the fine plus demerit point? Zakwan, welcome to the show. You'll have to unmute yourself. Well, Zakwan, very quickly, you'll have to step in and talk about the social media ills and the problems that a player faces, especially with the kind of faux pas that they commit in the current scheme of things. Your views. Satish, would you like to take that?
Sorry, Sunil, I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
I said in the current scheme of things, the backlash that happens online is it's very unforgiving. Unlike David Brooks, who can actually get away with it. But
Well, can I just jump in and say one thing, Sunil? And that is
yes.
there's a difference between even in the privacy of the dressing room, that's one thing, but actually in the dugout, in full view of the nation, it's probably not a good look. So I think in the dressing room, behind the dressing room, outside the dressing room, at the back of the dressing room, fine. That's the player's sanctity. What they do there, Phil Tufnell used to go to sleep, but he wouldn't go to sleep in the dugout. The dugout is, you're right on the side of the pitch. You're involved in the game. It's not a good look.
Satish, there is a backstory going between David Brooks and Siddharth Rege from our team on the live vaping issue, but that's for a different thing altogether. But do you think social media is unforgiving?
See, this is the way of life in the modern day life, Sunil. When you do good, they adore you, they praise you, they take you, they hero worship you. And when you do something wrong, they'll put you to the altar, right? So that's the way of life, and one has to be very, very cautious about the pitfalls in the modern day era. So I'm sure as a player who's been playing IPL for the last few years, you should have known all these. You should have understood. It's one thing is he's still so probably we need to give him a little bit of benefit of doubt due to his age. But still, I think again what he did, the others need to learn from his mistakes and make sure that they don't do it because each one can't making the same mistakes and then learning from it. It's a good
Zakwan
lesson for
Rumi,
everybody to learn and then.
Yes.
Zakwan Rumi, very quickly, do you think the social media, especially the Gen Z, is going really hard on Riyan Parag?
No, it's really good that it is going in that way. Once again, I apologize for not being able to hear me earlier. I had a small technical difficulty. Upholding the respect and the integrity of the dressing room is something that has to be taken into the future as well. So it's
But
a
the point
fantastic.
is, do you think
Yes.
social media is coming too heavily on Riyan Parag, or it is justified?
It's that kind of scenario where you tested the waters and now you're paying the price, and I think it's justified that what is being happening to him has to have happened because at the end of the day not anyone in the last few years has been seen doing vape or cigarettes in that scenario. So being caught as a captain, I'd say it's a bit of an unfortunate incident.
Well, we come back to the last segment of our show. We start off with David Brooks. David Brooks, today's match, who's your favorite team and why? Of course, foregone conclusion, Kohli will be your favorite.
Well, RCB have got the luxury of choosing between Salt and Bethel to open with Kohli. Salt, if he's fit again, Bethel was a very good replacement. We've already mentioned Hazelwood and Bouvet, so I have to go with RCB. They beat them last time. I'm going to go with RCB again to win the double.
Satish, no favorites here considering Chennai Super King is not playing. What's your favorite team of the day? Will GT bounce back the way that they've been playing in the first season of their debut? Or is it going to be a roller coaster for RCB tonight?
Sunil, if you might not know, you might not know, RCB is my second favorite team. So if I don't support Chennai, I'll be supporting RCB. So I don't go. I'm not going to go back on that because I think RCB is like a well-oiled machine. They are going at full steam. GT, yes, they showed a semblance of what they could do in the last game, but again, that consistency factor, I'm not very convinced. Unless they could reproduce the same kind of a form against RCB today. So I will go with RCB.
Well, absolutely. Two clear favorites. Zakwan, before we wrap up the show, what's your favorite team for the day? Is there any scope for GT tonight in the match against Virat Kohli's RCB?
Well, the thing is, I'm a Punjab fan myself, so after last year's final, I'm going to go with GT. That's my favorite for this team. I think GT does have a chance here, considering they have a really good startup, Gill and Sai Sudarshan. But if they're able to keep the tempo of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Hazelwood and get a score above 45 in the power play, then I think they have a good score to set. And also, they have a good unit to bring in that victory that they would hope for.
Well, the experience in our commentators' room and our discussion says it's RCB because you've got the luxury of Virat Kohli, and calling it a well-oiled machine is how you would describe RCB. Well, that's all we had time for. Two of our gentlemen were backing RCB. Let's look at it at midnight tonight to see which team has emerged the winner. But that's all we had time for. Don't go anywhere else. This is your daily show. I'm Sunil Yashkalra, joining in from Sharjah, UAE, to bring you this fantastic coverage with my team, of course, of Siddharth Rege and his team together. Don't go anywhere else. We'll be back after a short commercial break. Thank you very much.